Hello, my name is Razvan Savu. As Radu introduced me, I am the Cloud Strategy Officer for Ymens. And if you're wondering what a Cloud Strategy Officer does for a cloud company, right? Basically, I'm in charge of the strategy and I'm in charge of the strategic projects for Ymens. Of course, the Cloud Strategy Officer has a different meaning when discussing about a customer, right? Customer environment. But for Ymens, this means that I look on the significant opportunities that we have for cloud, and I'm here to discuss about models that work in the cloud. Before I do that, because actually I didn't have any time to prepare a 30 minutes talk, I can basically talk really, really slow for the next 30 minutes, and I don't think you want that, because I only have like 8 slides. Or we can actually engage in a conversation and see what is the interesting perspective from you. What is the practical perspective for you in terms of cloud projects, right? Before I do that, let's see if you can raise some hands. I've seen that you're a little bit reluctant to do that, but are there any cloud consumers here? I was expecting everybody to show some hands, right? Because you use email, you use, I don't know, you even use Google, and that's cloud, right? Cloud service providers? Okay. Cloud brokers? That's really interesting. And we're at EuroCloud Forum, so I need to ask this. Any cloud auditors? Auditors, the guys that do the legislation, the regulation. Next one on that stage, okay. And maybe the most important question for my presentation. Is there anybody here from Greece? No? Okay. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to my clicker. Okay. Let's see how this works. Can somebody help me? Do I need to point it to something? I asked about Greece because we all have this term, practical, right? Everybody knows what practical means. But do you know where it comes from? Just raise your hand if you know where this word comes from. Okay. If I get my clicker, yeah, yes. Should be Greek. Don't worry. I think I have a problem. Do I need to point it at something? Okay. Finally, practical comes from the Greek praktikos, and I was hoping that somebody from Greece can actually make my point or argument on this, because I only found this this definition on a single website. But practical means that is business oriented. It's fit for a certain objective, and it has, if you see there, to do act, right? So in order to be practical, you first need to practice a lot. And we at Ymens have practiced from different perspective what it means to actually be engaged into this cloud computing industry, because we're a cloud broker. I saw some hands here from people saying that they were from cloud brokers. I will explain my terminology on the term cloud broker, because everybody has a little definition, their own little definition. For me, a cloud broker is sort of like a one-stop shop for a customer when he wants to buy something from the cloud, right? We can do consultancy activities, we can talk with different independent software vendors and actually find the best solution for somebody, for a specific requirement. Ymens started in 2012 as a competence center for cloud inside a system integrator in Romania called Teamnet. Basically, there were some developers and some infrastructure guys that knew about virtualization and security, and also about this new trend. It was sort of new in Romania. It was actually the first cloud competence center in Romania. Knew about this new approach for cloud in terms of multi-tenancy, in separation of the domains and everything. Then it evolved in a company, in a smaller company, which actually targeted small and medium enterprises with traditional software like ERP, CRM, right? Since 2014, 2015, we have actually become the first Romanian cloud broker, and that allowed us to expand our offering quite a lot, and also allowed us to expand our interaction with our customers, right? So starting from small and medium enterprises, going to the larger enterprises, and going to the public sector. Right now, we like to think of ourselves that we offer full-scale business solutions into the cloud. That means from consultancy, as I said, to data center implementation, to platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service. But I'm not saying all of this just to brag about the company, right? I'm actually saying this because cloud is a really difficult topic to approach when going to a customer. Most of them say, okay, I don't want cloud because I'm afraid of security. Or it's too new, it's not mature enough, I don't trust cloud. There are all sorts of media coverage that make cloud look way worse than it is in terms of security, for example. No, I don't need this. But we have found out that there are some models, if you're not looking into those little boxes that are called software as a service, or platform as a service, or public cloud, or private cloud. Everybody has, as I said, their own definition of that term. There are some models that work, and I would like to propose to you to discuss these models that work, because focusing and actually sharing these stories of what makes a project successful from a business approach is something that is really important for us as actors in the cloud market. That works, okay. I don't know if you agree, and I don't know what's. I was thinking earlier that I'm on the technology stage, and my discussion was mainly around the business challenges that our clients faced for these models, and I just want some real feedback from you, if you can, and raise your hands if you have. If you want to see this project or the projects that I'm going to describe a little bit from a different perspective, from the technological perspective, for example, or from, I don't know. If you have any other perspectives, I'm glad to answer that. I'm not going to go in the order that's outlined in the presentation. I'm going to talk to you first about a really interesting project that we did for an NGO. It's in the healthcare. It's in the healthcare industry, and we had no specific expertise on that particular domain when we first entered the discussions. Of course, it was a relationship sell, because we found out that that's the main driver when selling cloud, relationship sales, like in any other traditional market. The problem there was that they wanted something really quick, and they didn't care at all because they didn't understand all the technical details, right? And we gave them the first major cloud application that the doctors use today. There are 9,000 doctors and 40,000 patients that use and receive compensation on the treatments that they do according to a specific disease. So basically, this model is pure luck. If you find somebody that is not interested in cloud, you can actually go and propose something that works for them. Another really important point was that all the doctors were distributed geographically across Romania, and they didn't have a central entity that could actually engage with them, right? So that's why managing the infrastructure, so taking all the headaches away from our customer, was actually the right way to go for them. What we have learned there is that, and this project was, I think, 3 years ago, we have learned that specific business expertise matters. So when you go and talk with the customer, regardless if you're selling ERP on-premise or on cloud or whatever you're selling, specific business expertise matters because the people in front of you want to know that you understand their problems. And usually you need to understand their problems better, or you need to articulate their problems better for them. That's your job, right? So this is the first lesson. If you can, when talking about cloud, try to talk about something you know more than cloud, a specific business requirement, right? Any questions so far? You want me to talk about the technology part, maybe? Of the project? Okay. I saw somebody saying yes. The difficult part for this project was actually we had 3 applications that we needed to develop in 3 months. Each application took like 2 months, and we thought, okay, how we can manage that thing. Bottom line, we did it in not 3 months, but 4 months for 3 applications. We have actually developed our own framework based on Groovy, which is the Java framework. And we use Docker in terms of infrastructure, and we also use Flexiant for cloud orchestrations, so for virtual machines and everything, in order to speed up the management part for the infrastructure. Good. The next topic is related to public cloud in the public sector, and this is one of the biggest challenges that we face right now, selling some cloud in public sector, mainly because they are not ready. There is no real legislation around cloud usage in Romania. For example, everybody says that data cannot be moved outside Romania, right? Personal data cannot be moved outside Romania. There is no law specifying this, actually, right? This is only a best practice, right, that's implemented in the core philosophy of the public entities. There is no legislation around that, right? So we've had to find some really, really creative ways in which to sell cloud to public sector. We have actually won a bid, right? And I'm going to talk about the challenges that they faced. They have front-facing, our customer has a front-facing application for European funds. And as you know, when somebody opens a call for some European funds, everybody rushes in to have their documents approved, right? And that creates an enormous peak for the entity that manages this whole process. And their problem was actually scalability. They didn't have enough people to manage the infrastructure, the new European calls were actually coming really, really fast, so they didn't have any time to prepare infrastructure, buy infrastructure, etc. And they said, okay, we can move to cloud. We can actually move to cloud. Of course, in order to make the models work, the public cloud model, for example, says that if you have an overage on your subscription, you just pay. You just pay additionally. For the Romanian government, who works on a really strict budget and knows in advance all the expenses that they're going to have, this is something that you cannot do. So we have asked the client to be really, to pay really close attention on their usage, but from a formal perspective, we had to be innovative. From a formal perspective, this overage was actually put into the contract as a liquidated damage, right? So, because this is the only way that a public entity can pay something extra to you if you do liquidated damages. Okay, granted, we were lucky enough and smart enough to do this, right? But this is something that can be done, right? I'm not saying that this is a practice that you should take and use. I'm just saying that you can actually use legislation absence in your favor, right? Good. So this is lesson number 2, be creative. The third project that I want to discuss about is a hybrid platform as a service for the public sector. As I said before, there are a lot of public entities that say, I don't want to give away your data, my data to you to put it in your data center. I don't know what you are going to do with it. But we have actually won a project where we give the control back to the customer. We offer him an orchestration service based on Flexient, as I was telling you about. This is something that we use internally. And we give him the VPN access, right? We give him control over the VPN channel. Coupling this with the orchestration, he is able to do orchestration in both data centers, in his data center and in our data center, because Flexient, the software, allows for multi-site implementation. Actually, there will be 3 sites at the end of the project, with a backup. So lesson number 3 for this specific model is give them the power to see what they receive, right? And of course, we do a lot of research. I'm not going to hide that there are a lot of really complex research programs on Horizon and FP7. Some of them have challenges that are really, really hard to tackle. But it's really interesting to work in the research and development part, because actually you're at the front end of new challenges, right? You solve old challenges, but see new challenges. One of these projects is actually Cloud Socket. I can say the name of the project actually for this one. It's a business process as a service aimed at small and medium enterprises. I know. That was my first reaction. Do small and medium enterprises need business process as a service? Do they have the maturity in order to map all their flows and say, okay, I'm going to buy 2 flows for you and I'm going to implement them inside my company? The answer is yes, they have. They have this need because they have really, really specific requirements that you can actually address them as standard offerings in terms of business process, right? So this is how we actually managed to find these small processes, for example, distributing an email, right? This is a business process for them, and we give them the input, and we take care of the output. They just fill in the input, and we take care of the output. This is the sort of things that can be made with our platform for this research project. One of the challenges that we're trying to face, and maybe you have some ideas, is in terms of identity. This project has a real problem, and all projects in cloud have a really big challenge in terms of identity management. Why? Because you have all these locations of services, right? You can have 3 data centers with 6 providers for services, but you only need 1 username and password. And of course, there are some initiatives in this area, including the Stork framework from the European Union. Okay, but they are not so widely adopted and widely accepted. So this is the biggest technological challenge that we have right now for this project, offering a convergent identity for all the services that we can provide in the marketplace for the business process as a service. The last project that I want to share with you is number 4 there. It's mobile and public cloud. I think that mobile and cloud are really linked together, are closely related when discussing about growth of both, right? And we have actually tried to go that route, offering for the education sector a complete package for the classroom, right? So you receive the tablet, and you also receive on that tablet, you receive an application that allows you to manage your whole classroom. Of course, this is not really something innovative. From any perspective, this is not innovative. But it actually gets the job done. And it's actually really nice to see that you receive this tablet. You also have an Office 365 account for education. Those are free. And the application works locally on your tablet, but then sends data to the cloud. And that data is not really, I'm not saying it's not important, but it doesn't contain any personal information, right? All the personal information gets stored on the tablet itself. You just have the identifier in the cloud, and then all the associated data in Office 365. So these are the models that we have found to be really successful when discussing about cloud with our customers. The most important thing that I want to stress out in this presentation is we're not selling cloud. Cloud is not something new. Cloud has been around for 20 years or more. We're actually selling solutions, and we need to take advantage of new solutions and innovative solutions that can only be made possible through cloud usage and not through the traditional approach for software engineering, right? Okay. This is my presentation. I told you that I don't have